I'm Andrew Newman, and I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. You know, at my very first healing that I ever had in my life, the healer said to me, "You can be a healer." And I went, "Oh, really? That's not what I'm looking for." And she said, "Just read something." And I picked the Hands of Light book off her bookshelf. She said to me, "You might want to start with something easier." Little did I know, right? I first attended a workshop that was run in South Africa, and one of the things that knocked my socks off there was that there were 3 facilitators, and they all, to me, seemed to have the light switched on. They seemed to know something about me that I hadn't yet discovered for myself, and they knew how to bring my brilliance forward, and I saw that right at the first weekend workshop. And it was a big workshop for me. I'd done some weekend workshops before then, but nothing was quite like this. The sense of being seen, really, truly, deeply seen. You know, attending the Brennan Institute was an incredible 4-year journey for me, absolutely fundamentally shifting my awareness. I walked in without knowing that I was creative, and I walked out writing children's books. I walked in with really dysfunctional, unhealthy relationships with my family. I had a very loving family, and they just didn't know how to communicate and relate with any emotional content. And so I needed to learn all of that as an adult, and I really did it in my 4 years. Absolutely. This is an incredible place to come for your own personal development and for skills development to create a career as a healer. Again, so many. I love the richness of the large school meditations that the whole organization would be part of, and I loved the creative arts curriculum. That was something that nourished me deeply. Over the 4 years, I offered creative projects that got me into writing more and more. The way that my fellow classmates received my creative offerings and recognized my talent was something that I just soaked right in. I thrived in that. And again, I hadn't experienced it before. This was new. How did I get through my entire school education without being acknowledged and recognized for my creativity? I use it every day. I use it both internally in my personal meditation practice. I use it to inform my creative writing, and I have a small healing practice. Connected, healing, and fast track. Fast track. I do. More and more I lean into that. I use it for my marketing and branding of my healing practice, and I come to the Institute regularly to be in the group field and to reskill and refresh my own enthusiasm for the work. Being South African, I would love to see the Institute opening in South Africa. There's a great call for healing there, and there's a great resource of wisdom that South Africans have from their transition in the Mandela era that I think could inform the Institute on a mutual exchange. Good place. Come on over. During the Creative Arts Week at the school, I wrote my first poetry book and put it together using one of the original photo album creators. And that was my first story, and I loved the process. Shortly after school, I wrote my first poem that I thought needed some pictures, and it became a storybook. And now I have a collection. You see, the boy who searched for silence, coming out of 4 days of deep silent retreat, and then catching a story, just this little thread, and pulling it down and going, well, I'm going to make this story out of it, make a book. The Laughing Witch, I mean, she's of course very connected, shamanic, spiritual, and the elephant who tried to tiptoe, who forgets to be herself and compares herself to all the other animals out there. I think that in some way this was who I was at a certain point in time, trying to not be myself, and really during the journey with the Institute, I discovered who I was and accepted myself as I am.